Welcome back to Systemic Conversations. Today, Orianne and I are exploring something very simple but yet very powerful: words. You might wonder how just a few words spoken in a constellation could really make a difference.
Hey. Yes, Carole, in constellation, we often use what we call healing sentences. And before we explain when or why we use them, I think it would be probably best to give you immediately a taste of what they actually sound like.
So, what do they sound like? Well, healing sentences are short, factual statements. They're not emotional or dramatic, like "I hate you" or things like that. They often sound plain, almost obvious. And yet, when spoken at the right moment, they can deeply move the person and the whole system.
Yes.
So, Oriane, give us some examples.
Yeah, but before giving an example, I like what you say about this healing sentences sounding plain or just obvious. Yeah, because the facts are more powerful than the emotions, and facts create emotion. But for example, one of the most powerful is simply this sentence: I see you. And when someone has been forgotten or excluded from the family system, you know what? This sentence brings them back into view.
Yeah, we really like this one. I see you. Another one is, for example, you've got a mother and a daughter, and you will say, "You are my mother, I am your daughter." This sounds simple, like obvious, but when there has been a break or trauma between a parent and a child, speaking these words can reconnect the bond in profound ways.
Yeah. And when the order between parent and child has been reversed, the child might say, I'm the little one and you are the big one. And guess what? This helps restore everyone's rightful place.
Yeah, that's very nice. So we've given you already a few sentences, healing sentences, but I think it would be good for me to share you a real case scenario, a real story. I once worked with a client who had a very complicated relationship with her daughter. And when I invited her to say the sentence, as we just said earlier, "I'm the mother," she actually couldn't even get the words out. She couldn't say it, which is the reality. She's the mother. So she broke down into tears, she cried, and that told us so much. Her tears showed how heavy it felt to carry that role as the mother and how deep the wound was. Simply attempting to say the sentence brought her in touch with this feeling, and she had kept that feeling locked away. That moment became the doorway for her to begin reconnected with her maternal strength.
Yeah, wow, that's a powerful example, Carol. And I can say about the healing sentence, it's like a, a, a key, and just by activating a fact, it brings back the emotion related to the fact. But what happens sometimes when we facilitate, we offer a sentence, and this sentence is not so easy. It doesn't flow properly, and you know what? Sometimes it's exactly where the healing starts, when the person receives this sentence and it looks like, wow, it doesn't have any effect on me, and the wave is building up.
Okay, so thank you for sharing that. I've got another example to give you. One of my clients discovered that she wasn't actually the eldest child. though she had always believed she was. But during the constellation, it was revealed that there had been a miscarriage before her birth. And when she said, "I'm the second," her whole body relaxed. She felt a weight lifted from her shoulder. And because for the first time, she was in a rightful place in the sibling order. Because actually, she was not the first child, she was the second child. So naming it really released her.
Oh, wow. And I remember a constellation where someone said to a forgotten grandfather, "You are one of us." And immediately, the representative who had been standing stiff and cold suddenly started to breathe more freely, almost as if life returned to his body. It was as if the whole system sighed in a relief once he was acknowledged.
Okay. So it brought him back to life, basically.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, and you're breathing as well. Okay. So if you're listening, you might be wondering what actually happens when someone hears or repeats these sentences. What's the process?
Well, at first, the words activate the hidden emotion connected to the past. And sometimes the person can feel resistance or relief. And either way, the reaction shows the sentence has touched something. And then we can ask to repeat. And with this repetition, the body begins to release. The breath flows, the face softens. There may be laughter, tears, or a sense of lightness. So we can see it's like a knot loosening.
I like this imagery of the not listening. Okay. So as we already said, even though the sentence sounds simple, it works like a key, as you said, that unlocks frozen places in the body and also in the family memory. So let's take a step back and see what these sentences are really for.
Well, at their heart, they stir emotions that may have been frozen or silenced. Also, they can help restore order, belonging, and balance in relationships. It's related with the three laws, systemic laws.
Mhm.
And we notice they bring recognition to what has been ignored or denied.
Mm-hmm. So it goes well with the different stages of the constellation, right? It's part of
Yes, absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
And
So, oh
yeah,
yeah,
it's
go ahead.
like cooking with salt and pepper. You
Uh-huh.
can do the constellation without the sentence, or you can do with uh,
Mm.
those sentences, and you will see a difference, and
Mm.
especially about emotions. It's very
Mm.
emotional.
Hmm.
Mm.
So yeah, as you're saying, without the healing sentences, the constellation still works, but it's not quite the same, right? It doesn't touch
Yes.
the same. Hmm. Okay. So as we shared, it can support repair and release, freeing us from burdens we've been carrying. So sometimes we can say, "I give this back to you. This is not mine. This is not my burden." So just saying that. So it's very somatic as well with the movement, and then the person can say that loud, and then that really that goes into their body, that they remember the sentence. They help us find our rightful place in the family system and in life. And perhaps more importantly, they invite us to accept what is the reality of the past, the destinies of others, and the limits of what we can change. I don't know if you have an example of that.
Uh, you want me to offer an example?
Mm, mm. Or
Well,
maybe it's just it's your destiny, something like that. Yeah.
yes, this is your destiny, or this is your fate, and this is my fate. And
Mm,
just by saying that, you can feel that each one has its own fate or destiny,
mm,
and nobody can change that.
mm,
It's a kind of respect. Okay.
mhm,
And also, it reminds us that it's important not to feel better than another one, because it looks like we have a better fate or better destiny than the others, than
mm,
the other person. So it's very important to.
mm,
But yes, with all this process of with the healing sentences, we help the person, the client, to start with a new story about himself or herself or a family. It's possible because we identify so much to what we are telling about us, and we can be
mhm,
trapped in this. And with the
mhm,
family constellation, the healing sentences, the facts instead of what we are creating,
mm,
it helps to create a new story that will bring changes and a better life.
mm. Okay. And also you said that it brings a sense of lightness, of peace as well, right?
Hmm.
Like you acknowledge what is instead of what we thought it was. Like I'm the mother and I'm not the child or things like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you might also wonder, when do they come in the constellation? So maybe that's another.
Yeah, this is more for the practitioner, but we can offer uh, when the constellation looks like stuck, frozen, or when there is apparently a denial or a ignored event or a miscarriage or first love who hasn't been acknowledged. So there are so many moments, opportunities during the constellation to offer the healing sentence. I would like to say that we need to not to offer so much. Less is the best. So
Mhm,
some sentences, one, two, or three. Sometimes this is the maximum, because if we go further and we if we give too many sentences, what would happen? This is the mind is
mm,
again working. So a long silence after a sentence can be also very powerful.
mm. Okay. And then the right sentence can reintroduce truth, bring movement back, and allow the system to breathe again. Yeah. So
Mhm.
the aim is always to restore something essential, belonging. And we said the three laws of the family of systemic constellation: belonging, order, or balance between giving and receiving. And often that restoration begins with one sentence. So what is important for our listeners to know that these sentences are never imposed.
Yeah, we always propose them, offer to repeat, and we do it in a very soft way, gently. And the client is free to say yes or no, to repeat it or not. Or sometimes the client wants to change a word or anything, and we try all of them.
Mm,
So it's also possible to reject them.
mm,
And I noticed so many times it's absolutely not required to repeat the sentence, because from the moment when the facilitator offers the sentence, the client or the representative is just repeating in his head or her head. So it's working. It's a wave. It's energy. So it's working. And if it's not the right sentence, it's okay, because this sentence will not create any effect. It's
mm. It won't
like,
land. It won't land.
yes,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly.
Mhm,
So
mhm,
and the subconscious is able to catch what is the best for itself. So,
Okay. Yeah, and it registers the sentence. Yeah.
mhm.
So the timing of it is crucial. If a sentence is spoken too early or with judgment, it won't land. So the key is simplicity, truth, and respect for the person's readiness. So when you say the person, it could be the representative or the client.
Yeah. So, if we summarize, healing sentences are not magic spells, even though they can look
Feel
like
like it.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
They are just simple acknowledgements that restore dignity, order, and belonging.
Hmm. And when they're spoken at the right moment, they can bring deep relief and freedom.
So now it's time for you to maybe have a trial experience for yourself. So you are welcome to join one of our workshops or book an individual session. The best way to understand the power of those sentences is to feel them in your own body.
Yeah, I agree. Healing sentences remind us that words don't just describe reality, they can also transform it. And yet, for words to heal, we must first be willing to look at what has been hurt.
Yeah, this is full of good sense, Carol. Every healing sentences begins with meeting the wound. The moments of rejection, abandonment, or loss that still echo through us.
And this is exactly where we'll go next. In our next episode, we explore how the hurts we carry, those moments of feeling unseen, rejected, or let down, shape our relationships, and how healing begins when we recognize their deeper systemic roots.
Yes, because behind our everyday reactions, withdrawing, pleasing, controlling, there is often an old story, sometimes one that didn't even start with us.
Fascinating. So we'll talk about all that and how these invisible wounds can echo through generations and what it means to finally bring compassion where pain used to live.
So you are invited to join us for episode 16 of Systemic Conversation When Hurt Runs Deep.
Ta-ta-ta. Okay, so thank you for listening to Systemic Conversations today. And if this episode touched something in you, feel free to share it with others. You might resonate. You can also listen to our other episodes, and you will find the link to the playlist in the description. You can also subscribe to get notification of our next episode.
And as always, may the right words, the ones that bring truth and kindness, find their way to you.
See you next time.